Hello, this is Patrick, and welcome to another Cybertruck accessory review video. And today we have a product that I would recommend for basically anybody that's going to drive a Cybertruck off-road because it's just necessary. So if you're going to go off-road in a Cybertruck, the manual says you got to take off these wheel fairings. They're like little mud flaps on the front of the front tires and the front of the back tires. And they kind of hang down, and it's supposed to help with aerodynamics. Yeah, they're just useless. Frankly, I took the front ones off when I knew I was going to go off-roading, but I couldn't get to the back ones very easily, and I was in a hurry. And so, sure enough, I went through a big old mud puddle. It looks awesome, but man, it pushed on the mud flap back and down. It filled up with mud, and it kind of tore it off a little bit, or just kind of popped loose. It didn't really break per se. So I removed them, and I was driving around without any coverings for the past year and a half, and it just looks a little unfinished. If you look at my past videos, there's just like bare spots. EVbase came up with a great solution, and they're this wheel fairing delete covers. They cover up the spots from when you remove those fairings, and they look great. They're not terribly hard to install. They do take a little bit of time, mainly just for getting the old ones off. Putting the new ones on is really simple. So if you've already taken them off and putting these new covers on, it's the way to do it. So here's the process of taking them off and putting on the delete kit. So EVbase is kind enough to provide all kinds of tools that are necessary to take off the wheel fairings. I found actually the little screwdriver worked the best, even though there is a pry tool, which also is helpful. The first thing you're going to need to do is take off the little plastic rivets, and then you need to wrench off the little bolts, and then you can pop in the new fairing covers, and then you can put the little plastic rivets back in. I recommend turning the wheels, so putting the truck into jack mode, and then turning them away from the side that you're going to do. So you do the same thing on the other side, take off the two bolts inside, and pop in the new one, and then replace the little plastic rivets. On the back side, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. There's 3 bolts underneath that you need to take out so that you can pull off the side trim. I tried it with just 2, but I didn't quite have enough give to really get in there and remove the screws. There's also the trim around the wheel well that has to be pulled up maybe about a foot's worth, and it just pulls straight forward and it comes out. Like I said, I ended up having to remove the 3rd bolt there. Then I was able to pull that trim out, and I was able to get to all 4 of the little screws inside that hold the fairing on, so you can take them out and then pull the fairing off. And you're probably wondering why I said I had removed them a year ago. This is a new Cybertruck. This is my Cyber Beast, so this is brand new stock, and so I had an opportunity to remove the fairings and put on the covers. So you got to be sure to put that bolt back in there. I didn't do it the first time, and it was kind of wobbly, so I had to take the trim back off, put the bolt on. Everything just kind of snaps together on the Cybertruck. Then you got to put the bolts back for the trim, and then you can put that fairing delete kit back on. This one's a little bit trickier just to get the holes aligned, because there's 3 of them that you have to line up. I found it easier if I was able to get underneath the truck to line up the one on the most inner part of the wheel well. And then the other 2 are pretty easy just to kind of snap in there. And it looks pretty good. And the other side, now I had the process down, went much quicker. Took out the 3 long bolts on the trim, and then I took out the 3 rivets and the bolt holding in the trim. Then I was able to take out the 4 little screws that hold the fairing onto the trim, and it snapped right out. The last time I had to do this on my last Cybertruck, that was just literally full to the brim with mud. Like I said, don't forget to put this bolt in. It's really easy to forget about it. the one that holds the wheel well trim in place. And also be very careful when putting this back in. The little plastic pieces need to line up with the holes just right before you snap them in. Then you just place on the fairing delete kit and then put your rivets back in. They come with a whole nother set of rivets. Oh, and then there's this little piece that kind of locks it in at the top, so you got to put that on there too as well. And that's just a little extra thing to secure it on there to make sure it doesn't come back off. And here's what it looks like when it's all done. Much better than naked deleting the fairings. You have some nice coverings on there, makes it nice and square and like a Cybertruck again. It's just a little extra touch to make it look more like a finished truck. The lines line up really well with the wheel well trim, is where the seam goes and everything. I think it looks nice. Now that I've had a chance to drive around with them on for a few days, I think they look great. They hold on really nice and tight. From a distance, it looks like there's nothing there. They look like they just blend in with the rest of the truck. I highly recommend them. If you want to actually use this beast of a truck off-road, this is a no-brainer. And they're super affordable. They're only $69. And with our code, TOOSMART, you can save 20%. And you can get more accessories from EVbase at EVbase.com/Tesla trip. And you can see all the things that we've reviewed over the past 2 years. And I really like EVbase. They've come up with some pretty neat products. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. Have you taken off these fairings on your Cybertruck, or did you break them off when you were going through, heavy mud or water or whatever, anything that puts any kind of resistance on them? Thank you so much for liking this video and subscribing if you have. We'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.